Hi everyone. So this is another elastic class, but today our focus is on the lower part of the body, on the feet, ankles, legs, and hips. Of course, with always some core concentration in there as well. We're going to start sitting. There will be a few seated exercises today, and if you have really short hamstrings and you find it difficult to be sitting on the floor, I recommend elevating yourself off the floor with a folded up blanket or something to just lift the pelvis. So we're going to start sitting on the bum with the elastic around the foot and completely wrap it around your foot so it's hugging around the heel all the way up to the toes. And then lengthen that leg out, down away from you. So this is a nice amount of resistance. We're just going to point through the ankle and then the toes, and then flex through the toes and then the ankle. Inhale. Exhale, reach through the ankle, and then the toes, and then the toes, and the ankle. So we're just seeing what kind of space we can create in this joint. This is a really important movement for our gait cycle, walking. As we push through our feet, we send our pelvis forward, and it's really nice to have the movement of all the bones in the ankle and the foot so it can be even and articulate. Again, for 3 more of these. You're in charge of how much resistance is in there, but just try to approach this with the intention of creating space. And 1 more. Okay, so we'll remove that from this foot and wrap the other foot around the elastic, or wrap the elastic around the other foot. So it's wrapped around the base of the ankle and up to the toes. And then we're reaching through that ankle and then to the toes. And even though our awareness is on our ankle and our foot, just check in with your shoulders and your breath. Can you keep the breath low, slow, and relaxed? Can you make more space through the ankle as you flex and point? 2 more. All right, and you can release the tension there. We're going to come up to standing. You can bring the elastic with you. Just standing on both of your feet with the feet hip width apart. Take a moment to notice where do you tend to keep the weight, and can you center it so you feel the weight evenly through both feet and all the parts of the foot. Bend the knees and lengthen. And as you bend, feeling both of your ankles bending, knees and hips, bend and stretch. Good, bend. Stretch as if your back is sliding up and down a wall. Bend and stretch. We're going to lift the right heel and bend, and then send that heel down to the floor, and then the other heel lifts and lower. So as we bend the knee and lift the heel, the pelvis stays vertical, and the spine as well, as if we were sliding up and down a wall. Again for 2. Just noticing the sensation in the ankles. And 1. Good. From here, we're going to bend the knees and come down lower. So your spine is going to come forward on a diagonal. Bring the arms up with the elastic in the hands, and we're going to pulse with the legs as we pull out to the sides with the hands. For 10, 9. So the neck is relaxed. If you feel any tension in the neck, you can bring the arms down. We're going to go for 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Straighten the legs. Inhale. Exhale to come back down. Can you keep the pelvis low and articulate through the ankles? 1 and the other. And 1 and the other. Oh, 1, 2. Again for 2 more. And 1. Good. Straighten and release. Coming into your wide second position, external rotation in the legs. Bring your arms up overhead and bend the knees. Take a moment here with a buoyant pelvis to just feel the symmetry in your legs. Knees are directing over top of the toes, so we're not allowing them to collapse in, using the glutes to keep them open. And tug towards the outside with your arms. Okay, hold, inhale. Come up and over to the left, exhale. Inhale, come back to center. Up and over to the right, like you're sliding between 2 panes of glass, not allowing any twisting to happen through the ribs, and keeping the head evenly spaced between the 2 arms. One more time each side, side bend, and side. And come on back, stand. With the elastic at about hip height, we're just going to do this little march. So as you bring your foot down, become aware of how you're rolling through your foot. And as you lift the knee, you might feel a little bit of tension as you bring the knee up against that elastic. So if you struggle with balance, you could just continue to do this. If you feel confident and would like to work on one leg, we're going to bring one knee up and hold this position, bringing the elastic around the shin. Stay wide through your chest, inhale, and draw your arms down and back as you exhale. Inhale, bring the arms forward. Again, exhale, arms draw back. As the arms draw back, connect into the abdominals, keep the shoulders relaxed. Inhale. Again for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, foot comes down. Let's bring the other knee up, even through the pelvis, shoulder blades low, collarbones smiling, and exhale, draw the arms back. Back. For 5. You're going to feel the back of the arm and maybe the muscles in the armpit engage. 3, 2, and 1. Release, bring it down. Leave the elastic to the side. We're going to continue to work on balancing on one leg. So if you do struggle with balance, I recommend you hold onto a chair or a wall. We'll bring the feet to a little 45-degree angle, external rotation. Rock the weight onto the right. Press down through that right leg. We're going to cross the left leg in front of us. So you're waking up the inside of that thigh. Imagine you have flashlights on your hips that are shining forward. From here, draw that left leg back on the diagonal. And try to pull the foot into an E version. So that means that you're drawing the sole of the foot up and out towards the wall. Cross it on that diagonal and bring it into a supination inversion. So the sole of the foot is scooping like a hockey stick. Again, pressing back, eversion, and crossing over. Inhale back, and exhale, cross over. So this is excellent for the hip joints. We're increasing the synovial fluid in the hip. If you want to add a little coordination, we're going to add the opposite arm crossing over into internal rotation as the leg crosses front, and then open the leg back as that arm comes into external rotation and up to the sky in a diagonal. So crossing, inhale. You might feel like you're taking a sword out of your pocket. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, put the sword in. Exhale, pull the sword out. Again for 3 and 2. One more. 1. Release. Okay, bring the feet parallel. Just do a little hip shimmy side to side. It works the standing leg, hip quite a lot, as well as creating more synovial fluid and movement in that articulating leg. Bring it into a figure 8 in the pelvis. So you're going side, middle, side, middle, side, middle. Getting some beautiful fluid movement out of the hips. Okay, bring it back to center. A little 45-degree angle in the feet. Imagine those headlights on the hips forward, and then the right leg is crossing in front with a little scoop in the foot. Inhale. Send the leg back on the diagonal as you evert the foot. Exhale. Cross it forward in and open it back out. Inhale and exhale. Crossing forward in, open back out. So notice your standing leg. How is the knee? Definitely want to keep that kneecap in line with the foot, pointing the same direction as the toes. And slightly bent, maybe a little micro bend, making sure you're not locking the knee back. Adding the arm, opposite arm comes into internal rotation, and then external rotation as you lift on the diagonal. Internal and external. In and out. Again, in and out, and in and out. Again for 2 and 1. Good. Really sit down. Bring the feet back to hip width. Bend the knees. And just shimmy side to side as one knee bends and the other lengthens. Getting into a stretch of the glute med, the side of the hip. Good. Softening in the knees. Feel your feet in the floor. And we'll turn this into that figure 8 dance. Maybe a little bit more exaggerated now. So you feel some stretching in the oblique lines from the ribs to the hips. 2 and 1. Good, and bring it back. Okay, so we're going to work on some lunges with the elastic. Get that elastic. And today we're anchoring it down underneath our back foot. So we'll step forward with the right foot and bring the elastic into the left foot as you step back. 2 hips are pointing forward. And you can turn the palms of the hands forward, find equal tension in both of your hands with the elastic. Notice how, because the elastic is back, it helps us to open the chest. Bending 2 knees, inhale. Exhale to straighten the legs and bend the elbows. So we're getting a little bicep curl here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale down and curl it in, exhale. So hopefully your elastic is nice and wide and your forearms can just press into it as you curl your fists in. Inhale, exhale. Again, in. And 2. And 1. Okay, those of you who need a chair near you, make sure you have a chair close by. If you have the right foot forward, probably the right hand will be taking hold of it. You might not use the elastic. If you do have the elastic in your hands and you're okay for balance, bend that back knee for scooter. So we're stabilizing the standing leg and pressing the back leg back as we draw the belly button in. Inhale, exhale, bend the knee. So straighten and bend. I cued the wrong breath earlier. We're exhaling as we lengthen. So that is connecting our breath to our powerhouse and our deep abdominals. Again for 5, 4, press through the ankle as well. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, come to standing. Let's change sides. So tricky one because our back foot is in the elastic. Forward with the left foot, right foot comes into the elastic. Find a little bit of tension. Take a nice step back. Palms of the hands are forward and chest is open. Bend 2 knees, inhale. Exhale to straighten the legs and bend the elbows. Curling biceps in. So it's nice to do our biceps with an open chest. So we're really isolating that movement. Inhale and exhale. Again, in and up. Again for 5. Keep drawing the pubic bone up towards your ribs. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend the front knee, rock the weight forward, readjust as you need the elastic, anchoring it by your hips. Inhale. If you need your support, go ahead and grab it. Exhale, reach the leg long. Inhale, bend it in. So this is very much about the standing leg, keeping that front knee bent and aligned over top of the second toe, or whatever is a healthy alignment for your body. Keep open through the chest, again for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come to standing and release. Good job. Let's come down to the floor. So we're coming down onto the back. Ooh, with the elastic over top of the hips. Again, have it wide. And we'll anchor it down with the hands to the floor in a way that we feel the chest wide. So inhale here. Roll through your spine into your imprint as you exhale, and we're going to pick the pelvis up into a bridge. So there's a little bit of resistance as we come up. Inhale, and lower down through the spine. Exhale, and back to neutral. Inhale. Really anchoring the shoulder blades down. Exhale, roll through the spine, peel it up. Inhale, up. And coming down, exhale. Can you feel each vertebrae in the mat even before your bum comes down? And releasing neutral. Again, rolling. Press it up. Press the fronts of the hips up. Keep it up. We're going to lower and lift. Little pulses. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale to lift. Notice where the weight is in your feet. Keep it even. Keep it in the mound of the big toe. Don't let those feet roll to the outside. Again, 3, 2, and 1. Roll down, 1 vertebrae at a time. Feel your ribs articulating. Ooh, so great. Inhale, back to neutral. We're going to come up one more time and stay up for another little challenge. So hips are high. Really connect into the abdominals, and we're working on the entire posterior chain now by lifting the heels. Inhale, lower the heels. Exhale, keep the hips high. Inhale, heels lift. Exhale, heels lower. Inhale, heels lift. Exhale, heels lower. Again for 3, and 2, and 1, and lower down. Whew, back to neutral. Inhale. Come into your imprint. Bring the knees up to tabletop. And we're going to bring the elastic over top of the shins, nice and wide. So you're using your lower abdominals to keep the back in the floor. Palms of the hands are facing each other, and we're just going to draw the arms down to the floor, kind of like we're doing the hundreds, classic Pilates exercise. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale here. You have the option now to bring the head and shoulders up. You can stay or just repeat with the head down. Pulse with the arms in. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. One more time. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Head down. Bring your feet down to the mat. Keep the elastic in the arms. Tuck the chin into the chest to get some more length out of the neck as you draw your hands out to the side. Inhale, lift those arms overhead. Exhale, bring the hands to the ceiling. And we're going to curl chin to chest, head and shoulders up. Inhale to lower. Arms overhead, but keep the ribs connected. Arms lift, inhale, head and shoulders lift, exhale. Coming down. And head one more time. Arms up, head up, shoulders up, curl up. Inhale. And lower down. Exhale. Good. Leave your elastic on the floor. We'll bring the hands down to the pelvis, bringing the knees in towards the chest. We're going to curl the pelvis up off the floor here. So exhale to draw your knees into your chest and pick the hips up. Inhale, bring them down. This might just feel like a concept if the abdominals aren't quite there yet. If that's the case, it's okay. Just think of tucking the knees in. Maybe even a millimeter lift is going to help you get in contact with pelvic floor and that lower abdominal power. Again, 3, 2, and 1. Come back to your tabletop in an imprint. Bring both of your feet over to the right. Inhale. Exhale, lower both feet towards the floor, but keep your imprint. Keep the lower back down. Inhale, lift. Change the feet to the left, and exhale, lower the feet towards the left. Inhale to lift. Feet to the right. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift. Feet to the left. Exhale, lower. So we're really getting that oblique connection. Inhale. Again, feet to the right. Lower. And lift, and feet to the left, lower, and lift. Hug it in. Go for a little rock side to side. So we're going to try a beginner variation of a Pilates exercise called the corkscrew. That means we're keeping the knees bent instead of working with the legs long for this. So we're going to come into that position with the feet over to the right, the knees to the left, and you're going to roll so that your pelvis comes up off the mat, switch the knees, and roll back down. So I'm rolling up the right side of my body, twisting and rolling down the left. Inhale. Exhale, roll up one side, twist, and down. Roll up, twist, and down. As you lower your legs, see how far you can go, but keeping the integrity of your abdominal contraction. Again for 2. And one more. Good, bring it back to center. Grab onto the backs of the thighs, lift the head and shoulders up, and help yourself roll up like a ball. Opening the chest. You're going to do some work seated. So if you need a blanket to sit on or something, that might be nice. We're going to take the elastic around the feet and open your feet wide. So they're like so, and my knees are bent. Yeah. Okay. I'm opening my arms out to the side, so they're in like an inverted V, and I'm strong through my waist. Inhale here. Exhale to draw your arms back as you press your feet into the elastic to the front and out to the sides. Feel your chest expand and your arms, backs of your arms engage. Inhale, bring it forward. Again, exhale, draw it back, and inhale, forward. Exhale. Draw it back. Inhale. Forward one more time. Exhale. Draw it back. Inhale. Forward. Good. Stretch the legs out. Take the elastics in the hands between the thumb and index finger as you stretch your legs. Your knees could be bent here. We're going to work on our stability with our spine neutral as we lean back. So keeping the thighs on the floor if your legs are long or your knees locked, your thighs locked in place, lean your chest back, bring the elastic with you, and feel your abdominals help you as you rock back onto the back of your sits bones and maybe your glutes. Inhale. Come back. Again, exhale, rocking back onto your bum. So your entire pelvis comes with you. Inhale, come forward. Again, rocking back. Use the abdominals to keep everything connected. Inhale forward. One more time, rocking back. Inhale forward and release the arms. I'm going to bend the knees for a half roll back. So you can scooch forward a little, so make sure there's room behind you. Rolling back, exhale. Stay back here with that rounded sacrum, rounded tailbone. Inhale. And come up and over an imaginary beach ball. Exhale. 2 sits bones in the mat. Inhale, grow up tall. Half roll back. Exhale. Inhale here. Chest is wide. Lower back is round. And we come up and over an imaginary beach ball. Exhale. Inhale, lift one more time. Exhale, rounding back. Inhale here. And exhale, come up and over an imaginary beach ball. We're going to keep this rounded position. Your elbows are hugging into your waist. You could have long legs and get a little bit more of a stretch in the hamstrings. We're going to work on the triceps. So we exhale and stretch the arms back, opening through the chest. Inhale, bend the elbows. Pull the arms back, exhale. Inhale to bend. Really opening through the shoulder girdle. as the elbows stretch and bend. So reminder, you could be here with knees bent or with legs long. Whatever feels the most gentle for your structure. Again, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Reach it long, inhale. So we're going to come all the way down to the mat. Exhale, roll down. One vertebrae at a time. Use your elastic if you need, bend your knees if you need. Inhale. Tuck your chin to your chest and roll up. To sit. So that was a bit of a test for your spinal mobility. If you have a spine that doesn't like to articulate, if there are chunks that go down all in one block, I would like you to work on that chunk that doesn't like to articulate. Go in your half roll back position with knees bent, round back, and stop right when you get to that point where you feel like after this it likes to fall, and I'm just going to hold it, breathe, and come back. For those of you who it rolls for, we're going to do rolling like a ball. So you sit up to the top of your mat, rock back onto your bum, lift the knees, and inhale, roll back. Exhale, come up to balancing, keeping the rounded shape. Inhale, roll back in between the two shoulder blades, and exhale, coming forward. So wherever you are, you're working on the flexion of your spine one way or another. With rolling like a ball, it's a bit more of a massage. Again, for 2, and 1. From here, we're going to come into single leg stretch. So those of you who are rolling like a ball, you can follow me. Otherwise, if you were working on your half roll back, come on down to your back. We're going to reach the left leg long, keep the right knee bent, press your tibia into your hands, and we'll roll down. Inhale here, and change legs, exhale. One knee bent, one knee long. And we change. So the tibia is pressing up into the hands. This is helping us get the shoulder blades up off the mat. We change. And change. And change. And change. For 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1. 1, you could either take a break in a little ball and roll side to side, or roll up for rolling like a ball again. Inhale, exhale, roll up. Inhale, exhale, roll up. Again, 2. 1 more. We'll all meet on our back. Knees to the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale to stretch your legs and your arms up. If you need to have a hand behind your head to support your neck, go for it. We're going to lower the legs a little. Open the arms, circle them, and tuck yourself back in. Inhale, stretch. Arms open like you're swimming. Exhale, hug it in. Inhale, stretch. Arms open, hug it in. Stretch. Arms open, hug it in. 1 more. Stretch. Open, hug it in, and either roll side to side or come up and roll like a ball for 3, 2, 1. And we'll all come to sitting to grab our elastic. So we're going to work with the elastic around the thighs to strengthen the hips. Tie it into a knot just above the knees, or if you have a mini band, you could just get your mini band and wrap that around the thighs. Okay. So we'll do some clamshells with resistance. Lying on the side, knees are bent and the heels are in line with the sits bones. Inhale here. Exhale to open that knee to the ceiling, and inhale to close. So you can take this other hand and bring it onto the hip and just check in with the pelvis. The pelvis should be really stable. It's just the leg moving, which is sometimes a much smaller movement than we think we want it to be. You can also check in with that granny panty line underneath the greater trochanter as you open and close. Again for 2 more here. From here, come into an internal rotation. So your toes go to the ceiling and your knees point towards each other. We're going to lift and lower. Lift and lower. So this is working glute min, another important stabilizer of the hip in our internal rotation. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Give yourself a little massage. We'll change sides. You can swing over or just roll over to the other side. Okay, so 2 knees bent, heels in line with the sits bones, and we're externally rotating and closing. Think of really lengthening the waist, especially that top hip reaching away to keep the pelvis in alignment. You might feel the bottom waist come up off the floor. External rotation and close. Again for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come into internal rotation, so the toes point to the ceiling, and we're going to lift and lower. Lift and lower. So the front of the hip is working here. Glute min, tensor fascia lata. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Release. Give yourself a little massage. Help yourself up if you need. We'll take that loop off and out. And we're going to do some side kicks now with a long elastic. Okay, so coming on to that first side. Elastic around the right foot. I am wrapping it the way we were doing at the beginning, around the heel and the toes. So you can either work on your elbow here and anchor the elastic down and around the pubic bone, or lie down on your arm if you prefer. You're inhaling, kicking forward, so there's not much tension here. But as you exhale and point back, you're going to feel some resistance in the elastic as you open the front of that hip and connect into the abdominals. Inhale, flex forward, and exhale to point and reach back. And as we press our heel into the elastic here, it's forcing us to create more space in our hip joint. If you're on your elbow, really check in with how are you pressing against the floor, keeping your neck long. One more. Okay, align that leg with your body. Try to anchor the elastic down around the opposite hip or pubic bone. We're going to lift the leg and lower. Lift and lower. So the lower the elastic is, the more tension you're going to feel as the leg lifts and lowers. It's quite a small movement. Lift and lower. Again for 2 and 1. Hold it. 10 little circles. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other way. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Strong through your waist. 3, 2, 1. Good. Relax. Bend that foot in. Oh, maybe you can come up through a little bit of a stretch. And we'll change sides. So wrapping it around the heel and the toes. Anchoring the elastic down around the hip or the pubic bone. As you kick forward, you're going to get some slack in the elastic, but try to keep shining that sits bone down and away from you. Point the toes and reach the leg back and get that stretch in the front of the hip as the glutes engage. Inhale, flex forward, and exhale, point and reach back. Check in with that supporting arm if you're up here. Otherwise, you could also be lying down in a little bit more of a relaxed position. This position can be challenging for those with neck tension, so just listen to your body. Inhale and exhale back. From here, align the leg with your body, anchor the elastic a little bit lower if you can. We're going to lift the leg, inhale, and lower, exhale. Inhale, lift, exhale to lower. Keep reaching the foot away from your head, pressing into the elastic. Lift and lower and lift and lower. Lift, 10 little circles. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other way. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh my goodness. Relax. Come to sitting. Maybe you want to look for a little hip stretch. Don't worry, we're going to do a real one in just a second. So take your elastic with you. We're going to wrap it around the right foot, just the way we had it around the toes and the heel, and lie down on your back, bringing that foot up to the ceiling. So I've got the elastic in both my hands. I'm anchoring my pelvis in an equal position. If you need to bend that bottom knee, if you have any tension in the lower back, this is a nice way to alleviate that. You can keep a slight bend in this knee, in the right knee as well. Take a few breaths here to feel your oppositions. Maybe your leg is long. And we're just going to lower that leg down to the mat and lift. Keep reaching your sits bones away from your shoulders. Lower and lift. Lower and lift. And lower and lift. You can keep going like this or go a little bit more dynamically. Lift and lift like you're kicking. Lift. Lift. So listening to your body. If it feels too fast to do it this way, stick with the slow version. It wakes up different muscle fibers to change the speed. 2 and 1. Good. Lift that leg up to the ceiling. Bend the left knee. We're going to keep the elastic around the foot like so, but to bring the foot across. So we're coming into a figure 4. Yeah. From there, pick up the left knee. Maybe you can hook your hand behind the thigh or in front of the tibia. I like having the elastic around the foot like this because it helps really solidify the ankle, which then is solidifying the knee joint, and we're getting more mobility in the hip as a result. You can rock side to side if that feels nice for you. Big deep breaths into your tummy. Okay, we'll change sides. Bring the feet down to transition. So wrap that elastic around the left foot, making sure it's wrapping around the toes and the heel. Bringing that leg to parallel. Option to lengthen the right leg down on the floor. Take a moment to feel your opposition. So the pelvis is square. Slight bend in the left knee. Heel reaching to the ceiling. How are your shoulders and your neck doing? Can you release a little bit of tension or the jaw? From here, lower the leg down and lift, but keep that opposition through the pelvis. Lower and lift. So we're looking for isolation of the leg from the pelvis. Don't let the pelvis roll with the movement of the leg. You can keep going at this pace or go a little bit quicker. Kick up and kick and kick, keeping it nice and parallel. Kick again for 5, 4, keep stabilizing. 3, 2, and 1. Bend the right knee. Cross the left ankle over top of that knee, but keeping the elastic there. And then we'll lift the legs and hook behind the right thigh or maybe in front of the tibia as you open the left knee out to the side and breathing into the hip, into the pelvis. Make sure your sacrum is really central and aligned, so it's not pointing off to one side or the other, especially those of you with sacroiliac issues. Really keep that sacrum right down the midline. Another 3 deep belly breaths. Okay, you can gently undo this stretch, roll onto one side to sit up, or if you would like a little challenge and you were doing rolling like a ball earlier, you can stretch your legs up to the sky with the toes in the elastic. Roll the head and shoulders up, keep that tension, and see if you can roll up into a teaser. A fun transition and release. Leave the elastic to the side. We're going to stretch our hips a little bit more. So we'll come onto the knees. Bring the left foot forward, and we'll keep the right knee down. If you want to slip that towel or cushion underneath your knee, go ahead. So we're squaring off the pelvis, drawing the pubic bone up towards the ribs here. Getting this stretch in the front of the thigh. Lift up that right hand, so same side as leg. And we'll add a little side bend here. Breathing into that whole side of the body. On your next inhale, grow up nice and tall. We're going to bring the hands down to the floor. If you have yoga blocks and feel like you'd like a little lift for some height here, you could place them underneath your hands at about this height. Tuck the toes under and send that back leg back. So we're coming into a runner's lunge. A few breaths here. Two. One. Okay, good. Coming a little further forward, so really rock the weight into the front leg. We're coming into a long diagonal line from the heel of the right foot all the way to the fingertips. Wake up that whole long line. From here, can you send your heart and gaze up to the ceiling as you extend into a slight back bend? Inhale. Stay for an exhale. Breathing. We're going to come back to a vertical. Turn the right heel back. And into a warrior two. I'm going to switch sides so that I'm talking about my right leg and my left knee. Okay, so you're bending into your left knee. Spine is straight. You might want to stay here or reach that left hand forward, left elbow down to left knee, and circle your right arm overhead. Keeping strong through the waist, looking for a sense of connection between that right foot and those right fingertips. Keep opening the left knee out to the left. On your next inhale, can you rise up to center, warrior two? Reach your right fingers down towards your knee and your left arm up to the sky. Exalted warrior. Two. One more breath. Good. Windmill those arms down to the floor. So again, if you need blocks, you could place your blocks there to either side of the left foot. Square it off back into your lunge. And can you bring that right foot closer and bring both legs long so you're coming into the pyramid. So again, blocks could be nice. 2 breaths here. And then we'll step that back foot forward and change sides. Okay, so your left foot is forward. Your right foot is forward and your left foot is back. Sorry about that. Okay, pubic bone forward. Lift up that left arm, same side arm, and come into a gentle side bend. Yeah, I'm going to do it this way. Next, inhale, reach up. We'll bring the hands down, possibly onto blocks, to either side of the right foot, and reach the left leg back, runner's lunge. Holding here for a few breaths. Bring the weight forward and scooch the back foot forward so you can come up into a long diagonal. From the heels to the fingertips is one long straight line. 2, 1. Now you're going to turn your left foot out, coming into a warrior 2. So your right knee is forward, squaring off the shoulders and the pelvis, opening the knee to the side. 2 breaths here. Keep reaching through your fingertips. Reach your right hand forward. Inhale. Bring your forearm down to your thigh, keeping the abdominals strong. Left arm overhead into one long line from your heel to your fingertips. We'll stay here for 2 breaths. Wide through the shoulders. Really press down through that right elbow. Inhale to lift yourself up. Keep the waist long and strong. Right arm will reach up to the ceiling, coming into that side bend, exalted warrior. Feel the ribs opening as you breathe here. Good. Inhale, circling up and over, bringing your hands down, square off that left hip, and we'll rock back into a pyramid. So again, if you have those blocks, this could be a nice moment to grab them. Keep a slight bend in your right knee. Keep it soft. 2 more breaths. Good. Wherever you are, planting both hands will come into a down dog. So feet are back and the hands are forward, hips high. Lift the heels, inhale. Exhale to lower the heels. Again, inhale to lift the heels. And exhale to lower. Lift the heels, inhale, bend the knees. Really send your sits bones to the ceiling. Telescope through your arms. So you press down through the hands. Spread your fingers like you're spreading a canvas. Externally rotate the shoulders. So you're wrapping your triceps down to the ground. And then we'll send the heels towards the floor for a stretch in the calves and the backs of the legs. Full breath. Stay with it. We're almost done. Bending the knees, walk the feet towards the hands. Bring the feet underneath the hips, hip width apart. And we're going to roll up one vertebrae at a time. You can imagine you have a heavy dinosaur tail reaching down to the earth. The lower back will find vertical first, then the mid back, then the upper back, then the shoulders. You can roll those shoulders back. The head, the chin, the eyes come up last. Turning the palms of the hands out. Just take a moment to receive all the energy you've just generated through your movement, your breath. Mountain pose. Send the energy down through the earth, through the soles of your feet. And feel it rise up through your legs, through your bones, like a spring coming up the top of your head. Bringing the hands together at heart center. East and west coming together, left and right. Take a moment to honor yourself, the earth, and everyone who made it possible for you to take this moment for yourself today. Thank you so much for being here. Keep moving. Until next time.